Last year, 2024, was the warmest year on record, with global carbon dioxide emissions reaching an all-time high. As climate change caused disasters plague the planet, the world needs to act now before more damage is done. To find solutions to our changing world, leaders, representatives, and members of civil society gather at the end of each year for the annual UN Climate Conference of Parties, or COP. There, countries address their climate commitments and the progress made in implementing them. But last November, at COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, climate progress fell short. Labeled as the Finance COP, the summit was expected to deliver concrete commitments on climate funding for developing nations, but it instead ended with lackluster promises and delayed timelines. COP29 also largely ignored calls to phase out fossil fuels, the core driver of the climate crisis. 2025 marks 30 years since the first COP, and change is overdue. This November, tens of thousands of world leaders, scientists, activists, and citizens from more than 190 countries will make their way to the heart of the Amazon rainforest, Belém, Brazil, for COP30, a crucial meeting to give the world a chance to correct its course. These negotiations need to go beyond carbon emissions and techno-fixes, and our research reveals the critical missing pieces.
COPs are where global climate decisions are made, but often the voices of those most impacted by climate change are marginalized or excluded from these talks.
If COP30 is to deliver meaningful outcomes, it must prioritize climate justice and the voices too often left out.
Climate justice ensures that negotiations are not only about reducing emissions, but also about protecting human rights, securing funding for loss and damages, and creating accountability for historic polluters. It recognizes that climate change is a deeply political, economic, and social issue.
So why is climate justice essential? Without it, climate action risks deepening existing inequalities.
The people least responsible for climate change, often low-income communities, indigenous groups, countries in the global south, are the ones who suffer first and worst from its impacts. Climate justice demands not only effective climate policies, but ones that are equitable, just, and come from democratic and inclusive decision-making.
But the road to COP30 presents challenges to advancing a climate justice narrative. As an Atlantic port city at the edge of the rainforest, Belém doesn't have the same infrastructure as previous large host cities, raising questions about its ability to host COP30 without compromising the environment and climate justice. Belém ranks among Brazil's top 10 worst cities for basic sanitation, and despite its Amazon location, it also has one of the lowest rates of urban tree coverage. COP30 could further intensify these problems, excluding the concerns of local communities. Construction and development in preparation for COP30 is causing deforestation in the Amazon, a global climate regulator and biodiversity hotspot. This international event that should highlight the Amazon is instead destroying its communities, and the new infrastructure is only benefiting those who can afford it.
Having been to Belém before for a World Social Forum, I recognize that this location is both unique and significant. On the one hand, it presents major accessibility challenges for many, especially marginalized and frontline communities, youth groups, and delegates coming from under-resourced countries.
High travel costs, sparse transportation, and limited accommodations are further excluding the very people COP30 should be uplifting. Looking at the last available rooms on Booking.com, news sources report that a 15-day stay during the conference in November would total over $200,000, enough to buy a 4-bedroom apartment in one of Belém's top neighborhoods. Amidst all of these looming concerns, there is no choice but to put climate justice front and center on COP30's agenda. Taking place in a country that allows for protests and free expression, COP30 can shine an unprecedented spotlight on the intersection of climate action and social justice.
At the same time, holding COP in the heart of the Amazon offers a powerful opportunity to elevate climate justice narratives, indigenous leadership, and other issues that are important to the global south. if it's handled with care and intentional inclusion.
While COP30 isn't for another 3 months, policymakers, activists, and researchers like us are already getting busy in preparation for November. The Gibson Climate Justice Lab encourages you to stay informed and stay involved. The countdown to COP30 has begun. Follow us as we track climate justice at COP30 and learn more at gcjlab.com for research and educational opportunities in global climate governance.